Amy Rich here. I'd like to share with you another Nuts I Need a Card Now, a card you can make in 5 minutes or less. I was going through some old things and I found a card that I thought was very beautiful. It's a sympathy card, obviously, and it's got some gold design on the bottom part of it, and then a little black layer, and then the with sympathy. And I thought, well, I can probably recreate this with Stampin' Up! Products pretty easily. But I was thinking about this bottom part, thinking what would be a great way to have a design that kind of goes all over without worrying about where to position your stamp each time. Well, I decided on a wheel called Betsy's Blooms. And you can see I've already got some gold ink on it, but it's just flowers basically. So I'm going to use that to recreate the design on the bottom here. And then I'm going to use 3 pieces of cardstock, 2 sheets of Whisper White, and of course this will be the card itself, and that is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. And then we've got a smaller piece that will be the bottom portion, and then a black piece on which we will layer the white. And I used a whole piece so that it layered nicely and didn't have any bumps or ripples in it when we layer them together. So that's what I've decided to use to recreate this card. And you can see it's going to be a little bit smaller than the original card. You could make it as big as you wanted, but I'm just going to make it the regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 size. So I've already cut these pieces, and I'm going to use the gold Encore ink pad along with our Betsy's Blooms wheel. So I'm just going to ink that up, and you'll notice that I pick it up each time I roll it across. That's to make sure there are no dead spots and that it gets ink all the way around. And then I'm just going to go kind of corner to corner to start. And then I want to make sure it's well inked again. And then I'm just going to go to the right so that me being right-handed, I can still see where the last one I rolled ends and where the next one begins, so that I can get it relatively well spaced. And then I'm going to turn this around and do the other side the same way. It's so sticky, I need to hold on to it. All right, and then we'll just wheel this across until the entire thing is covered. And it might be hard to tell on camera, but it is gold ink. Maybe this helps with the light a little bit. Okay, so you can see that gold ink. And it does stay wet a little bit longer than our regular dye-based inks. So I'm just going to be really careful here when I work with it. I would typically probably take a heat tool and heat set that ink, but for my purposes right now, I'm just going to be very careful when I work with it. All right, so now I'm going to add that to my black layer, just making sure the edges line up. And again, since I'm being careful, I'll flip it over and rub, get the ink on it. And then we'll fold our 4 1/4 by 11 piece in half. And then we'll attach this to the bottom of that card. So we'll just line up all those edges. And then I'll rub the back side. Okay, so we can see what we've got so far. Not too bad of a likeness. And then I decided to use our Thoughts and Prayers stamp set on page 92 of the annual catalog. And this is a great sympathy set, but I decided to use the Praying for You. So we'll just take our jet black Stays On ink and ink up the Praying for You and stamp that right on the upper right side, just like the other card. Isn't that beautiful? And very simple, very fast and easy. Another way that you can do it even quicker is if you use Designer Series paper instead. So I chose some Eastern Elegance Designer Series paper, cut it the same size as I would have cut the white, added a trim of crushed curry cardstock, and then stamped it just like the other one. So 2 quick cards in a major big hurry, and use inspiration from wherever you can find it. other cards that you see in the store, or even color combinations on people's clothes and so forth. It's fun to kind of get creative with the different patterns and colors that you see in everyday life. So I hope this has been helpful to you and that you can create your card in under 5 minutes.